Welcome everyone to the Bear vs. Pancast, episode 51. Ryan, today is February 19th, 2016. How you doing, man?
I'm all right.
Me too. My name is Nick.
I'm alive. I'm Ryan. Hello.
That's Ryan. Video
He's
games.
here.
Hey,
he's ready to party.
Yeah.
What up?
TGIF, am I right? Hey, let's talk about Fire Emblem.
Oh, okay.
No, because
that's a game both of us
that
played.
That game came out today.
Yeah, it did. I don't have a copy yet.
I do.
You a butt.
It's right here. This is what it sounds like.
Oh shit! I hate you.
This is what the opening tutorial sounds like. I guess did I say last week that I wasn't going to get this game?
I believe that's exactly what you said.
I think I said something to that effect about how I didn't really care about this game. It turns out the only reason I didn't want the game is because I was just super angry about the fact that I didn't understand how the different versions worked. Like
to be fair, Nintendo did a very bad job of explaining themselves. It turned like I was confused about it, and that confusion just turned into anger, and I just got really pissed off and started talking shit about Fire Emblem Fates because I didn't understand, and I still don't. But I bought a copy of one of the versions, so I guess I understand. I guess I can pretend I understand now. You explain it to me because I think I get it, but okay. So the way I've been led to understand is the difference is you're playing two completely different stories set in the same
basically
period of time.
Games.
Yes, it's two different games. Each game has its own set of characters and its own plots. In one game, you are playing one country fighting another country, and then in the other game, you are swapping roles. Mm-hmm. Where, as I understand it, in the opening sequence, you're fighting for somebody, and then you end up in the other side because of story stuff.
This is the part that they made clear. The least important part was the story. Is that your main character Corrin, or you can actually name him whatever you want. But of course they had to put him in Smash Bros. And give him a canon name. So now I feel like an asshole for naming him something else. But he's your player character.
Yeah, my guy will be named Corrin. So yeah,
he's my player character. So I had to name him. I named him something that I would name him. So what happens is that there's two kingdoms. One is super Japanese-like, and you were raised by that family. There's also these medieval European dudes who you're technically
are like dragon people.
Yes, something like that.
Or something.
But you're technically they're spawn of that. You're from that family. But for whatever reason, you were raised by the Hoshido. I think their name is the Japanese country.
I think you're right.
And then in Chapter 6 of the story, you have to either stay with the family who raised you or go to the family to whom you are biologically related to. And the story changes. The story changes in different ways, and the gameplay, although still is Fire Emblem strategy, whatever, changes drastically. But you can't actually choose in America. So, the Japanese version, from my understanding, I talked about this a little bit last week, but my understanding of how that worked was you got a game called Fire Emblem Fates. And you're like,
you got Fire Emblem If.
Yeah, you got Fire Emblem
what
If.
You got.
And you're like, oh man, I love Fire Emblem If. This is great. Fire Emblem's great. Chapter 6, you'd play the game. You get to that decision. And then you choose one of them and finish that mission, and then you go, oh, I'm sleepy, I'm going to go to bed, and turn off your DS, and when you woke up in the morning, it would be Fire Emblem Birthright, or Fire Emblem Conquest, or whatever the Japanese equivalent name was. Yes. And you would just own that version of the game now, and you'd be like, oh, I didn't understand that literally my decision was going to change the physical possessions that I owned the rights to. This is kind of confusing.
Right.
And then you could pay them more money to play the other one. And the way it works now is you buy one version, and the store page does not tell you about what you're getting into on the 3DS, on the 3DS eShop.
No, I think they're like, the descriptions are by and large the same. I think.
Yeah, well, the description starts with like, hey, if you're trying to buy both versions, here's how you do it. Be careful not to just buy both versions through the eShop, which is helpful.
Yeah.
But I had to do so much research. I had to read so many articles about what each version was and how they were different to figure out which one I wanted. And the 3DS eShop does such a shithouse job of explaining the difference. But basically, you buy one of them, and and then once you're in the game, you can select an option called Explore Fates.
Yeah, there's like an option where you can just log in and then get the other version. I think it's $20 for the other version.
And I don't know how much the third one costs. You can't buy it yet. You can't buy it until March 10th. I
think it's also $20.
But they're all full games. Apparently the third one, it plays more like Birthright, which is Fire Emblem Awakening style. But you also don't pick a side. It's like another alternate telling. So basically, the Birthright is like Fire Emblem Awakening. It's got a world map. There's normal, hard, expert, Phoenix mode, casual mode, and classic mode. And Ryan,
to be clear, both the
games
have that.
I have what?
Yeah. To be clear, both the games have that.
Yes. Well, I'm just saying I know
difficulty.
For a fact. Although I've heard that Conquest is more difficult even on comparable settings.
Yeah. So the thing I keep reading is that Birthright is a more easily completed experience in that you can grind, and the fights themselves are less punishing and have a little bit nicer win conditions than Conquest. So it seems like Conquest is definitely the harder game, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I'll mention some anecdotes I read in an article in a moment, but I wanted to mention to you that before you buy this game, you should know, when I started up Birthright this morning, I selected my difficulty, and then it asks me what mode I wanted to play, and the cursor defaulted to casual.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to understand that. I want to make sure that you know this before you go out and buy this game.
Right.
Because I would think that you would find that to be deeply offensive. As someone who likes
I do
Fire
and I
Emblem,
don't.
who's liked Fire Emblem for a long time.
Yeah. It's probably going to make me feel the same way as Awakening did, which was that I'm kind of mad, but whatever.
I really think you should just get Conquest then, because it plays like, so basically Birthright is Fire Emblem Awakening 2, and Conquest is the true Fire Emblem 13 or whatever. Like, it's an actual
kinda
sequel.
yeah.
It's an actual sequel to 12.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking I don't know. I'm getting Birthright because I have a feeling that I'm going to actually like this game. I don't know why I have this feeling.
I don't either. But I really appreciate your optimism.
Yeah, I want to like this Fire Emblem game.
I think for some reason
I'm gonna get that one first.
Maybe it's, I don't know if it's been actually related to this podcast, but for some reason I feel like over the past year you've been like foolishly optimistic, which is not a bad thing.
I mean, I think you're right. I think you're right.
You were like totally prepared to like Paper Jam too.
I didn't hate it, but I was horribly indifferent.
Yeah, which is like pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Fuck. Yeah, no, Fire Emblem Fates, I hope it's good. Please be good.
Oh, well, that's the thing, is that there's different they're different games. They're all standalone games, which
Totally.
is crazy.
Yeah.
And because they're all receiving different reviews and things. And
Yeah, well, they're different games, so they should. And, you know, the mechanics of, like, how they actually function are quite different. You know, Conquest is like a fucking 40-hour dick kicking, apparently. And...
Yeah, so this is what I read. One of the articles I read was an article from Kotaku that was... I read 2 different articles about which version to buy. I found both of them to be only slightly helpful, and also kind of insulting. The one I read from Kotaku was written coincidentally by my favorite Kotaku of the on staff Kotaku journalists, Patricia Hernandez, and she said that she played both versions, and she said that basically Conquest is a lot harder because it's just a straight shot, like Fire Emblem 12 chapter to chapter thing, and the battles are just generally harder. She said the story in that game is cooler, which, whatever, I'm probably gonna skip all the cutscenes anyways. And she also mentioned that Conquest is the game that features the only male relationship, and Birthright is the one with a female relationship.
Sure.
Which, I don't know, people might want to know that. But the thing she said, the most interesting thing she said about it was that there was, like, one mission, like Mission 13 or something like that. They were similar missions in each game. Like, they took place at the same point in the timeline, but they were different in certain ways. And she said that it took her 20 minutes to clear it in Birthright and 12 hours to clear the Conquest version. So there is a chance that she's just really, really bad at Fire Emblem. But also, it sounds like Conquest is much more difficult. But at the end of the day, it's still a Nintendo game. So, I don't know.
Yep.
How hard could it be?
It's probably really hard. Fire Emblem is like the one notable exception where Nintendo's like, we don't give a fuck, this game's gonna be hard AF. And I'm like, okay.
I'm seriously considering just playing through Birthright and then buying Revelations and saving the $20 because I'm not gonna like Conquest or really feel like playing Conquest.
Conquest is gonna feel like an older Fire Emblem game where you have, like, less choices in how you progress. So
yeah, I feel like having casual mode in that will make me feel...
It'll help.
It'll make me feel better, but ultimately... So if someone dies in a match, at least people will, like... they'll come back in casual mode, but they also will not have earned any experience. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. I don't know. I don't know if I care enough about it to play that game to spend the $20 and get another, like, 30 hours out of that game. I don't know if I have the attention span for that. So I might just move on to Revelations because it's more Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yeah. No, that's definitely true.
I think that's probably what's going to wind up happening. I'll see how Birthright goes. It's already challenging my understanding of Fire Emblem because all of the classes have either been renamed or recreated.
Oh, really? That sucks.
To be Japanese.
Yeah.
Well, not all of them, but like...
But a lot of them.
I'm trying to think of an example here. Oh, so Sword Masters aren't Sword Masters anymore for some reason. They're Samurai, I'm pretty sure.
Oh.
Which, as far as I can tell, that's what's happening, because I looked into You have to pick like a subclass for your main character that determines what abilities he gets.
Uh-huh.
And as far as I can tell, from what I read about the different talents and like how the talents worked in Fire Emblem Awakening, it seems like Samurai is just Swordmaster.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure in Conquest version, it might just be called Swordmaster, or they have another name for it.
Boy, that's really confusing, Nick.
Yeah, like I said, it's two different games.
Yeah,
it's almost as if.
It's almost as if these games are different.
They're totally different, but part of me is like mad that they released them both at once. But part of me is happy because it meant that they weren't like, here's Fire Emblem Awakening 2, and now here's Fire Emblem Conquest. And I was like, oh, I liked Fire Emblem Awakening and Birthright or Fire Emblem Awakening 2. You know, like, I like that style of game. And they're like, fuck you, this is like the old kind you hate. Instead, they're just like, here, you can play whichever one you want. Although I do still think that you should get Conquest.
I'm gonna get Birthright.
All right, unless you're prepared to eat the $20 and just get.
I mean, I'm probably gonna get both anyway because I want them.
You're probably gonna like play Birthright and be like, "This is just Fire Emblem Awakening. Here's $20. I'm gonna play Conquest and maybe like it."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a crazy
yeah.
thing. Like I said, I wasn't really prepared to be hyped for it, and then last night for some reason I got super excited.
Well, last night it hit you like a truck.
Yeah, it really did. I don't know what it was. I'm just like, man, I really, really, really liked Fire Emblem Awakening. I want to play more of that game. Hopefully, there's some dope waifus in this game.
Yeah.
Hopefully, they've spread the waifus between the two versions appropriately.
Hopefully, because Fire Emblem is nothing without its waifus.
Yeah, it's true. And they took out the touching people's faces thing, which is
I think that's back in. I think you can touch people's faces.
I think maybe under certain circumstances, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so last weird thing about this game is, remember that special edition, the cart that cost $80 that had all the games on it? Actually, I don't think it was one cart. I think it was just like
you got a cart of something, and then
you had to download the other ones. Apparently,
something like that.
Apparently,
yeah.
the Japanese version of this was just, here's all of them on the same cart, and you just choose which one to load into without downloading a GD thing. But obviously, America can't have nice things. So
no, we cannot.
This is what we get. But the special edition, you can play. If you had the special edition, you can download and play Revelations right now.
Yeah.
However, if you do not have the special edition, because you wouldn't,
because nobody does realistically.
No, like such a small percentage of people in this world actually have that. Then you have to wait until March 10th to play it. And by that point, everybody's going to be playing the Division anyways, so like, who's going to be playing that shit? Yeah, but that's fucking weird. That it's like, if you got the special edition, you can play it right now. Why not just make it like available for? I don't know. I'm not Nintendo. I don't understand it.
I'm not Nintendo.
Yeah, you heard it here first, guys. I just want to put those rumors to rest once and for all.
Bear vs. Man is not Nintendo. Yeah.
Yeah, Fire Emblem. We'll talk about it next week after we've played it.
Yeah. I'm gonna stream it all of it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that was the plan from the get-go, was to play this game on the internet.
It's like, this isn't Firewatch. This is like a lot of game.
Oh, I know.
It's a lot of game.
It's done. I said it on a podcast, Nick. It's done. It's committed to. It's committed to the world.
Yeah, the internet knows about it now.
It's true.
All right, well, why don't you tell me about a game that you played this week that you actually played?
That I actually played?
Yeah, don't tell me about one that you're gonna play. Like I just wasted all of our time doing.
Yeah, that's fine. So I played Street Fighter V.
Why?
I wanted to.
Why?
Because I don't know. It sounded like fun. It was alright. It was fine. I don't know. That game's fucked. It's it's a little bit better than it was like when it first came out, but like the servers in that game have been wicked spotty, and stuff. So it's like really hard connecting to matches.
Have you been playing online?
Yeah.
When you get matched with someone, do you get beaten worse than you ever imagined was even possible in your wildest dreams?
I'm pretty bad.
No, I mean, like, no matter how good you are, if you play a fighting game online, every single match, you will be destroyed in ways you didn't even fully understand was possible.
Yeah.
I played Marvel vs. Capcom 3, and I'm not saying I'm good or anything, but I played a bunch of Marvel vs. Capcom 3, like, with real people in real life, and then I played one match online, and I was killed in a single combo.
Yeah.
And like, okay, I've never played fighting games online again. That was my Fire Emblem moment. Where it's like, I'm never playing Fire Emblem again, but with fighting games.
Yeah, I'm bad at Street Fighter, so I get creamed. But it's, I don't know. I like playing it with my friends.
Yeah, I'll play
locally.
With you.
So, I mean, because my friends aren't as good as fighting games as the people on the internet are.
That's true.
So yeah, that game. I'm no authority on Fire. I got Fire Emblem in the brain. I'm no authority on Street Fighter, but I like what they did over 4. The game it simultaneously plays a lot faster, but it also feels like a little bit less sloppy than 4 felt to me. 4 kind of felt like I was fumbling around a lot, whereas in 5 I feel like it's a little bit more precise, which I'm into.
You find yourself completing your dragon punches more often.
Yeah, I mean, I could just suck less at completing dragon punches.
You been playing with a controller?
Yeah,
Scrub.
Yeah. I don't have a fight stick,
Scrub.
Nick. Nor do I want to buy one.
No,
if I'm going to buy any piece
like
of gaming, I don't want to.
Wheelman, trucking simulator wheel.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. If I was going to buy any
cost?
piece of video game hardware, oh, dude, it seems like ones that are worth your money are at least $200.
Oh shit! Well, a stick that's worth your money is like 100.
What?
Maybe a little bit less. If you get a USB one, you could use it for like all kinds of shit. Are you playing the PS4 version or the PC version?
PS4.
PS4 version.
PS4 version.
Yeah,
I'm playing that.
I don't like using a fight stick. I bet, like, if someone said to me, "Hey, here's a fighting game, and here's the only controller you're allowed to use," I'd figure it out. But I don't like a fight stick as much. I don't see why it's preferable.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. It's fine. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. The people are kind of upset about the roster. They feel like it's a little bit lackluster. I don't know.
In terms of size
and like selection. Like I think the people sort of are not thrilled with how the ones that they ended up going with, which is like, I think there's 3 new characters, but then there's only like 16 on the roster, and they didn't pick people that they wanted to play as or something.
Don't worry, they'll just double the amount of characters with DLC that you'll have to pay more than twice the price of the game to own all of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Although they did say like there's going to be a way an in-game way to buy characters.
Yeah, you earn fight money somehow. I haven't earned any yet because every time I play a match, it's like we can't send the results to the server, even though I just played a match on the internet.
Oh,
so
sucks.
I don't actually have any fight money.
But someday you'll be able to use the fight money you might get to buy DLC characters instead of spending your money on them, because you paid $60 for the game, and they'll probably release at least $60 worth of DLC characters, probably more like $100, honestly.
Yeah.
But over the course of
totally.
like a year, so it's chill. They're not scam artists. I don't know why they didn't just include more in the base release, because I feel like that's the smallest roster of any launching Street Fighter game in a long time. I know 4 has just progressively been like they ramped up and they released so many different versions of that game, but still, like that roster is really small.
It's very small. Which bumps some people out. But I only play as like 2 characters anyway.
Ken and Ryu?
Basically, yeah. There's I like a couple of the new ones. I like Rashid. He's like a guy who makes tornadoes, and is like a pretty racist Arabic caricature, which is always fun.
Yeah, Japanese people aren't racist though. They're not capable of being
They can't
racist.
be racist. No. And then I like Fang or Fang. I don't actually know. It's like an acronym. His name is an acronym. But he's a really tall, kind of reminds me of Mr. 2 a little bit. He's a little gay. And he throws poison. So that's all right.
I've noticed from some of the pre-release coverage stuff that I've seen that there's like kind of a lot of anime boobs in that game. Can you confirm or deny this allegation that I'm making?
Our Mika is like a wrestler lady, and she's all tits and thongs. So,
yeah, she's a returning character, isn't she? She's the one with the mask.
Don't know. Yes, she has a mask.
Yeah, she's been in other games. There's also some lady who wears green who might be Brazilian or something.
She's also
she
big
has
on
some
titties.
anime boobs going on too. Right? Is Street Fighter V a titty game?
It might be. It might be a titty game.
I feel like even I'm not going to say that like Street Fighter has a long history of being respectful of women. I'm not saying anything about that, but I feel like the characters were better dressed in previous versions of this game.
You might be
a little bit. I mean, like, what's her name? Cammy? Is she in this game? Cammy?
Yeah, she's in this game.
I mean, her situation, her like onesie with no leggings situation was always not great, but like Chun-Li was always more or less fully dressed, and it's just like a anime boob festival. I don't know. It might just be a coincidence that that's how I've just seen little parts of this game, and I've just only seen the anime boob parts. But
there's a lot of anime boobs.
Okay, it's good to know that I'm not totally crazy.
Yeah, there's some anime boobs.
So how big is the roster?
I think there's 16 characters.
That seems like the smallest amount of characters you can put into a fighting game and charge full price for it before it's completely fucked up.
Sure, yeah.
Like if they had 15, there'd be like a riot. 16 is like just enough that like maybe we're not. But like, I also feel like if a game besides Street Fighter tried to do 16 and charge full price for it, like, although I do want to say that Guilty Gear game came out and maybe had less than that, but that was because they were all like carefully hand drawn. It probably took years to animate.
I sort of feel like the content versus price ratio in this game is not good.
But you get more Street Fighter, and Street Fighter is the kind of game that you just like I don't know if you want Street Fighter you need to buy the more Street Fighter so that you can play the Street Fighter and get good at the Street Fighter, because that's the fighting game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's zero story mode. There is,
yet.
Yeah, so they're adding a bunch of stuff in March. I don't actually know what it all is, but they're adding, a legit story mode and all that other stuff. And it sort of seems like this game should have came out in March when they're adding the rest of it.
Yeah, but new Street Fighter. It's a good thing.
Yeah, sure.
New Street Fighter. I don't know, man.
I don't know. It's fine.
I don't buy fighting games.
I'll play them.
I'll play
with my friends
in real life at some point that was like, I don't buy fighting games because I'm not good at them.
Yeah.
Like, I just go to my friend's house and play it, whatever.
Yeah.
Because
you can play it with me.
I have no interest in getting good or worrying about if the net code is working well. Like,
yeah, I don't want to get good either.
Sometimes I just gotta draw a line somewhere. Like, I can't buy every video game. And I make some pretty questionable choices already. So sometimes I just have to say, like, no.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless it's a Nintendo game, in which case all bets are off.
Yep.
So, good game?
Remains to be seen.
Okay. Maybe when the game is actually out in a complete form with a story version and stuff, we can be judged.
Yeah.
Are people
that
publishing
sounds good.
Reviews for that broken ass game?
Yeah, there's reviews for it.
That's negligent. I mean, that's cool.
I think did Giant Bomb review that game?
Yeah, it has they put
3 stars.
They put stars on it. 3 stars.
3 stars. Yep.
Street.
Oh, Jason wrote that review. Okay.
Oh, so it doesn't count. Oh, sorry, Jason. It's PS4, 79 Metacritic with 37 favorable reviews and 9 mixed. So apparently, it being Street Fighter is enough to like make it a good game.
Yeah.
Negative user reviews 144. Yet to be seen how many of those are trolls or people just complaining about value proposition of 16 characters for $60, yada yada yada, on disc DLC, blah 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 blah. Nerd rage.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I want to come back to this in like another month or so when it's done.
That sounds good. You can just distract yourself with
Fire
Emblem. Thank you.
Dog.
Thank you for reminding me. Yeah, Fire Emblem. And then maybe you'll be like, hey, I just played a bunch of strategy games. I'll play a fighting game now.
Yep. That sounds good. All right, Nick.
Yes?
What do you got?
Oh, dude, I beat Assassin's Creed Syndicate.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because I felt obligated to.
You felt obligated to?
Yeah, I played it a lot, and I was super into it at first. And I just got progressively less into it because it was the only game I felt like playing. So I just like played it every day with any free time I had.
Yep.
And at a certain point, I was like, well, I guess you should probably finish it because I'm getting close. I stopped doing a lot of the optional open world, like, territory control stuff. Especially when I figured out... So, like, you do these activities in an area. You'll, like, liberate kids from a factory, or you'll go and kidnap/arrest a prominent gang member from an area, or something like that, and that'll, like, help you establish control of that part of London. Also, one of the territories was just the river... I'm going to say this incorrectly. The Thames River?
That's close enough.
The one that looks like it should be said Thames, but it's British, so...
Yeah.
fuck.
Yeah,
Everybody.
I think it's the I think you pronounce it like TM.
Yeah, I'm gonna say
Thames.
so. Basically, they're like, oh well, fuck the English language because it's British, and so that's its own territory. I didn't even, and not like it's literally just you jump across boats and stuff sticking out of the water and crates floating in it. I'm like, this is horrible. I don't want any part of this. I didn't do a single activity in that zone.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, I didn't even bother going. Like a couple missions brought you there, but like I didn't feel the need to take control of the river. That seems stupid to me. So I cleared like enough zones. There's like one of the people you have to kill. You have to kill like it literally has a serial killer red string connecting pictures of people in your hideout, and you have to kill a bunch of people before you can kill the guy, the evil Templar who's in control of London. And one of the guys you can only unlock his memory sequence by taking control of 3 zones. So I did that, and that wasn't annoying. I found it like kind of fun to just, hey, I'm going over here and I'm get this mission, and I'll just like stop off over there and clear this zone, and then open this treasure chest, and then go to. Eventually, that got old.
Yep.
Yep. And so I did enough. I cleared enough zones. It kind of got boring because. Well, there's this really interesting thing that happened when I played that game. It's this specific moment where when you capture enough parts of a territory, the gang leader who's in control of that territory shows up to challenge you. And they're like, yeah, fuck you. Hey, sick 'em, guys. And it got to the point where, maybe I was just like a little bit over-leveled. Or it definitely was over-leveled at a certain point. Well, like, basically, the person would show up and be like, sick 'em, boys. You're gonna regret trying to take my territory. And then I would throw a throwing knife at them and then run at them and just murder them. And then finish clearing the zone. And when we had the gang war to determine dominance of the zone, they'd be like, yeah, the gang leader's dead, so this isn't going to be too difficult. Because the person's just like, hey, this assassin person's coming through and killing all my dudes with literally 0 effort. I know, I'll show my face to them. Fucking idiot. Or another funny thing is, like, you'll be walking along the streets of London, and the rival gang members who wear red, like, they see you in the street.
Oh, good.
They'll come up to you and just be like, you what, mate? You want to try? Who you looking at? What you trying to do? What are you looking at? What are you doing?
You what, mate?
What, mate? And, like, I'm like, dude, did you see? Have you ever heard of how many hundreds of your friends I've killed? Get out of my face. And of course, you have a chance to just hit X to assassinate while they're like, you would? And you just hit X to kill them with a hidden blade, and they're dead. And like, why do these people keep coming at me like this? It's like that scene from Austin Powers, where his dad is explaining to the henchman. It's like this is the 3rd movie. He's explaining to the henchman how he doesn't even have a name tag and how he stands no chance against the rival spy lord. He's just like, you're just a nameless henchman. Like, just lay on the floor and be dead. I just don't waste our time. That's what I don't understand it. Like, that's not necessarily emergent gameplay, like starting conflicts in the streets. But like it's like a gameplay element, but it doesn't make any sense. I don't know, man. And they also had this moment in the game where this game got really not fourth wall breaking. It started harkening back to the whole present day thing in a way, super hard. Towards the end of the game, you see this like memory glitch at one end of the river, and you can go into it, and then you'll be playing as one of your descendants during World War I in London. And you have this like kind of sub area where you have to fight spies while working with Winston Churchill. And through that whole thing, as you capture parts of World War I London, some giant computer lady is explaining to you, I guess, the ancient race that put the pieces of Eden, like the super powerful items or whatever, of which the Holy Grail is one of. They were some ancient civilization that lived on Earth, but then like the sun threatened to wipe them all out, so they downloaded themselves into a computer, and they've lived inside the Animus ever since, or something like that. If this was like a one-off game, and they were explaining the origin of some mysterious thing that's been present the whole game up till then, that would have been a super interesting way of explaining it. But because it's just like a bunch of dumb bullshit in a like the 8th of a series of games, I just like skipped all of it.
Yep.
Like it was, I don't know. It was really, I just felt like it was wasting my time. Maybe that's just me not being receptive to it. But that was a thing. I don't want to sound too negative on the game because I did have fun playing it. The final,
yeah, it sounds like you liked it a whole bunch.
It's really fun to play. It's definitely the best Assassin's Creed game in a long time. The final mission was really interesting. It was different in a way that, like, there's one point in the game, one point in the final mission where right at the beginning, I didn't know what to do, because it didn't tell me what to do. It didn't hold my hand, like it did the entire rest of the game. So, like, there's a part where you have to infiltrate this party, and you can't carry any weapons, but you work with this guy who you've got him a Royal Guard outfit, so he's going to sneak the weapons in for you while pretending to be a Royal Guard. And so you have to go to the party, and your two characters are dressed in, like, formal attire, so the girl's wearing this, like, big, floofy dress, and she can't, like, run or, like, climb and get crazy because she's in a dress. And so you have to get to this, you have to get upstairs and, like, use this key to unlock a chest. You have to pickpocket a guard and then get upstairs. But, like, I could not figure out how to get upstairs because there were two guards blocking the path. And I just had to, there's a mechanic where you can kidnap someone, and that helps conceal you. Like, because it looks like you're just, like, walking with the person. They're like, yeah, everything's fine. This person's not threatening to kill me. Ha 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 ha. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, it's just me being a normal guard. You can let me through. This lady's with me. She's not trying to kill me or anything. And that's like a system that's used in the game for other reasons. Like, that's the method by which you transport people without killing them. But it also has this side, like they mentioned when you first learn about it, it has the side effect of allowing you to do hide in plain sight, basically. And they actually, in the final mission, you use it expressly for the purpose of hiding in plain sight, and I forgot that it did that, and it didn't tell me to kidnap a guard. Like every other mission in the game, it tells you explicitly, do this, do this, do this, do this. So I got really confused and lost and angry, mostly because I knew I was really close to the end of the game, and I was just like, it was kind of late, and I just wanted to fucking finish it. Eventually I looked it up, and I figured it out. And so then there was a boss fight. There are not boss fights in this game, except for the final boss fight. And it was a Nintendo-ass boss fight.
How so?
It was like, you're in this underground chamber, and the bad guy's at one end of it, and he's like all charged up on some ancient power shit. And so so it's like, okay, so you had to traverse to the other side of... You had to traverse to him, and then do some combat with him. At which point, he'll throw your character away. Or okay, so it's like you saw those two characters you're controlling. Like, you have you have Evie and Jacob. And so, like, Jacob gets there first and starts fighting him. And then you have, like, 3 minutes to... Like, Evie is going to change, and you have 3 minutes to get her there, too. And when you get there, like, magical energy is shooting out of him, and you need to, like, climb... You need to, like, either duck under it or, like, climb over it so it doesn't hit you. Or you'll get, like, sent back to the beginning. Like, it'll, like, knock you back to the other end of the tomb. So, like, if a wall of energy is coming, you have to use your grappling hook to, like, jump up to the ceiling so it goes underneath you. And it cycled. So you get her there, and he would knock Jacob away, and you'd fight him a little bit, and then Jacob would wake up, and you'd play as him, and you have to get him there while dodging all the magic bullshit. So it was like a cycling boss of like doing like a platforming thing, and that allows you to damage the boss more, and you do that over and over. It was really weird, but it was kind of cool. Because like I said, it's a very Nintendo way to do that. It's very much that like, I don't know why the final boss of Super Mario Sunshine comes to mind, where you have to like dodge the fireballs and water waves that Bowser is shooting so you can get to one part of the bathtub and actually do damage to him. It was kind of cool. And then you meet the Queen of England, and she knights you. And maybe some credits roll, and it says, "But wait, there's more." And you can continue to play the game. I don't know. I got a bunch of achievements. It was cool.
You like those?
Yeah, I like them a lot.
One day, if that game is not a lot of money,
already
I
is
might
not a
buy
lot
it.
of money.
Because how much money is it not?
It might have just been on sale when I saw this, but let me see. I want to say I saw it for like $30 or something.
That's too much money.
Oh, where did I see that? I saw it somewhere. It wasn't Amazon, or maybe it was on sale the other day. But see, PlayStation 4. Used like new, like $30. I saw a better price than that somewhere. It's not gonna be too long.
I feel like around maybe like either this summer or like holiday time, it'll be like $20.
Well, Assassin's Creed Unity Limited Edition PlayStation 4 costs $12, so it shouldn't be too long before Assassin's Creed Syndicate doesn't cost that much.
That sounds great.
Did you ever play
let's do that.
Shadow of Mordor, Middle Earth: Shadow of Mordor?
I did. I didn't get very far in it, but I remember liking it a whole lot.
It's fucking great. It's like the best Assassin's Creed game ever.
Oh, I should just play that.
You should definitely just play that. Oh man. Oh, dude.
Okay.
Don't play a single third person action / stealth game until you've played Shadow of Mordor. For real, it's the best.
Okay. All right. No, that sounds good. I'll do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, games depreciate faster than they used to, especially in physical form, and especially when they're not Nintendo games. Like Far Cry 4, PlayStation 4 is $20 on Amazon right now. That game's really good. Yeah, man. Yeah, so speaking of Amazon, real quick.
Okay.
I was pretty
I'll
sure,
speak of Amazon.
based on what they showed me, that I was going to be able to get The Division. Tom Clancy's The Division. I looked at the gold edition, what comes with the season pass. It's Tom Clancy's The Division, access to 3 major expansions, exclusive sawed-off shotgun, exclusive content drops, and exclusive monthly events. Exclusive. Did we mention exclusivity? And it says Prime members pay $79.99 for this game. And normally $100, save 20%. Switch to Xbox One digital code preload. And that notification doesn't really go away. Still says at the top, Prime members get 20% off automatically at checkout on this game. But it didn't come off when I went to go order it. And I asked Amazon, and they said it doesn't work for digital stuff. So...
So if you want to take advantage of any of those Prime stuffs, you have to get a physical version.
They did not make that clear.
Flat out that it's I
understand that now, but they did not make that clear.
If you click on the thingy where it says learn more, it'll tell you about it.
20% off pre-order and newly released video games, Amazon Prime. Prime exclusive savings, 20% off new physical. Okay, there we go.
20% off new physical during pre-order, and also 2 weeks afterwards, too.
They need to write, pre-order and newly released. They just need to write a single line of code that makes the Amazon Prime members get 20% off automatically at checkout on this game banner go away when I select the digital version, because... That's just fucking annoying. Like, they should just...
Nick, it does. I just did it. It does.
Well, no, at the top of the screen. Amazon Prime. Prime members get 20% off automatically at checkout on this game.
That part.
And also on the mobile on the mobile version, the one at the bottom doesn't go away either.
Oh, if you're on desktop and you click it, the one that's like underneath that says Prime members pay $79.99 for this game, that goes away if you click the digital code. Which I guess is the only one that Amazon cares about.
It might be the only one that's available because apparently they have some. Ubisoft's got something with Microsoft over the game. It's getting the DLC sooner and the beta launch a day sooner and stuff like that. Also on the mobile version, if you select the normal version and change it to the gold version, it'll still say Prime members pay $47.99 for this game, even though you selected a $100 game version of the game, which would be pretty fucking sick, bro. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna get the physical version. I played a little bit of the beta yesterday. I'm gonna play some more tonight. It definitely seems like a game. It seems like a game where I shoot things in third person.
Am I gonna like that game, Nick?
I don't know. What do you look for in shooters?
I don't.
Oh, okay. I don't think you really think you're gonna like it that much. It's
okay.
It's an open.
I want to play the open beta with you guys to see if I like it. But
you should. But it doesn't seem like the open beta is missing a lot of stuff. There's whole parts of the menu that aren't available, and the amount of like on map events, like open world style events, is really really light.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what the full game is going to be. But I like the idea of what the multiplayer is, or the competitive multiplayer element in that game is. Yeah, you go to a place called the Dark Zone. That is like a free roam, co-op and competitive simultaneous thing. Where, like, imagine just a giant co-op game where everyone is tenuously working together, but friendly fire is always on. So you take down like difficult NPC enemies and they drop loot, but the loot's contaminated and you have to extract it via helicopter. And so someone can call the helicopter and it takes like 2 minutes to get there. And in that period, and at any point, if you get killed by another player, they take the loot that you have yet to exfiltrate. And then it also makes them a rogue. They've gone rogue. And you can kill someone who's gone rogue to get more experience. But also dying as a rogue makes you lose experience and money. But it's only localized. There's two different types of experience and two different kinds of money. You have the regular stuff, and then you have the Dark Zone stuff. So it's kind of like an H1Z1 or a DayZ situation, where it's like a tenuous co-op environment where anyone can just shoot anyone if they feel like it. But but it's not automatically hardcore. It's just like, oh, you lost some of your Dark Zone money or Dark Zone experience, and you need certain levels of Dark Zone experience to equip better Dark Zone loot. But I'm pretty sure that loot, like a gun you get in the Dark Zone, and you have to be level 10 Dark Zone to equip it. If you're equipping it, you can you could take it into the rest of New York City and use it to shoot like PvE stuff. And it seems like an interesting idea. What has yet to be seen by me and will not be seen until the game is actually out is exactly what kind of loot game it is. Like, if it's a Destiny style, there is definitely a certain level of loot you can achieve, and you need to repeat these activities in order to see if you can get it, which can be done well and can also be done poorly. But I don't know what kind of game it is. I don't know if it's like, oh, you reached max level. I don't know how heavily they're leaning on the MMO aspect of it, I guess, is what I'm saying. But even a game like Diablo that's not an MMO it's a loot game, and The Division is definitely a loot game. Like, there's weapon rarity and stats on everything. item rarity, stats. This increases experience per kill by this much. So there's definitely something going on there, but I don't know if it's going to be like, oh, here's the equivalent of a 5-man dungeon that you go in with your friends and kill people, and maybe you get a good drop. We won't know if that's there until the game comes out, so we'll see.
Okay, all right.
But I want that. Like, I know people were really, really hard on Destiny because of grinding for loot, but if you don't have that loot grind, then you just have a game where you play it until you're max level, and then you turn it off and never pick it up again until the expansion comes out. And that grind to max level, or like that journey to max level, doesn't usually take that long in these kinds of games. So I do want some kind of loot grind, but we'll see when the game comes out. We'll try and play the open beta. We'll see if Joe's around, like, Saturday? You play the work all day, though, don't you?
I do, yeah.
Because Joe already told me he's not around tonight.
What a butt licker. I'm not around either, so I guess it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing some, otherwise. Oh, hey, apparently Titanfall 2 isn't coming out this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Bummer.
Well, it might, actually. They said it's going to come out sometime before, like, end of Q1 next year. So that could be like March. Yeah, or it could come out at holiday season if it's done. But they probably won't release it until it's definitely finished. And if it's definitely finished for Christmas, they'll probably want to release it for Christmas, but that's yet to be seen.
If you guys end up playing that game a lot, I'll think about it.
Yeah, Joe already has his...
Joe hype AF for this game,
I don't understand exactly why, but he has... he already has it pre-ordered, and I do too, but he had it pre-ordered a long time ago before he even played it. I'm not sure exactly where his hype for this game came from.
Don't know. Yeah, don't know.
But it seems good. I also kind of... So this game is about... The premise of this game is that a biological attack happened on Black Friday in New York City. Like, terrorists deployed some sort of biological disease and killed a lot of people. And I'm like, is this game going to get weird? Is it going to be like, oh yeah, it turns out the biological pathogen is turning people into zombies? Which I could totally see that happening. But he's just like, Joe, I mentioned this to Joe, and he's like, no, because it's got Tom Clancy's name on it, which means it's going to be only real life shit only. Like, stuff that could actually happen. And I'm like, first of all, Joe, just because zombies haven't happened yet doesn't mean they can't. Let's just get that straight. Like, that's just a logical fallacy. You can't disprove that zombies will ever happen. But I also see his point. But it's like, how many different types of unique, like, boss-like enemies are they going to have if it's just, this guy has a flamethrower, this guy has a rocket launcher, this guy has a Gatling gun? If it's going to be like a long-term MMO-style game with at least 3 expansions, I don't know. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'm probably going to play that game. I'm probably going to spend too much money on that game and then play it because I spent too much money on it. I'll just play it from March 8th until whenever Dark Souls 3 comes out.
Well, that's like an entire month, so... Or longer. Doesn't it come out on like the 22nd of April?
I think it's a little bit earlier in April.
Oh, that might be Bravely Second.
Oh my gosh, March 24th?
No way.
Yeah. Dude, I started typing that into Google, and it...
No, it's April 12th.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Oh, maybe in this country?
Does it come out earlier in like Japan or Europe or something?
It says the initial release date is March 24th.
Well, Amazon says April 12th, which is probably the realistic one.
Polygon says April 12th also. In Japan, the third Souls games will launch a few weeks earlier on March 24th. Okay. Yeah, because I went to Google Chrome, I started typing in Dark Souls 3 release date, and it was just like in red under, like, you know how it shows you all the possible things you might be searching for right now? Like autocomplete options?
Yep.
In red, it just says March 24th, 2016 before I even hit enter, which is like, God damn it, Google. You impress me every day.
Yeah. Google good.
Let's take a quick break, and then we'll talk about video games.
Yeah. Okay. Video games.
More.
Yo.
Video games.
Whoa, we talking about video games?
Yeah, we've been doing that for like a little while now. Did you play any other video games last week? Because it's kind of the whole point of why this podcast exists, if we talk about that.
I played Undertale.
You played Undertale?
I played Undertale.
What is that? I've never heard of that. What is that game?
It's a new walking simulator game.
Oh, dude. Wait, hold on. Do you say Undertale or Firewatch?
Undertale.
Shots fired.
No, I'm playing more Undertale. I'm finishing my genocide run.
What? Genocide? That's bad.
I know, but I'm almost done.
No, I mean, like, genocide is like a bad thing.
Yeah, no, the game definitely makes you feel bad.
Okay, so it's funny that, like, they give you the option to do it either way. Lots of Undertale has been a big thing since it came out.
Yep.
And a lot of information has come out about the nature of where that game came from and who, like, the guy who made it, and why that game is the way it is and stuff like that. And so, like, he made that. Toby Fox, Massachusetts local resident, he made a Earthbound mod, and in that game, he made it possible to not have to kill anything. And he just thought the idea of making an RPG where you didn't have to kill everybody was cool. But he seemed to he made that the correct choice, which I'm not offended by. But, like, I feel like if you're gonna create a game where you're like, hey, you can do whatever you want, maybe the game should make you feel like shit if you're like, I want to kill everybody.
No, I think it should.
Okay. Well, so let me. This is not a new save file for you, right? This is like because
this is my save file. This is my third playthrough of the same save file.
So this is an Undertale in which Flowey is no longer around because you got True Pacifist ending on it at one point.
No, Flowey's still around.
I thought at a certain point Flowey stopped existing. Like, I thought if you beat him in
True
Pacifist, he went away.
No, because as soon as you start up a genocide run, it tells you that things are going to it's like go back to a previous state or something. So, like, yeah, Flowey's back and stuff.
Oh, what do you mean when you start a genocide run?
When you start a genocide run after completing a True Pacifist run, you have to erase your save, quote unquote, which you actually don't.
Well, sorry, what do you mean when you say you start a True Pacifist? When you start a genocide run, like when you start a new run?
When you start a new game of Undertale after you finish a True Pacifist, you have to, like, erase your save and it tells you something about, I can't remember exactly what it says, but it's basically like you're going back to a previous point in time or something, all your stuff, and people are going to be sad. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I could have sworn I heard something about, like, if you get true pacifist and Flowey no longer exists in your save, and then you go back and do the neutral ending, then you don't fight him. Like, you because he's gone. I mean, and also I think
that might be true, but I don't know.
Kills himself or something like that. Some weird thing I read.
Ryan does not know.
Well, is it about like I don't know. I maybe I misunderstood it. It was in that Did You Know Gaming video.
I'll have to watch that later.
He was talking about why the song that starts is called Bergentrukung, because that's like the name of some tale about some king who like sacrificed himself, like a mountain king who sacrificed himself for the good of the people or something. And there's like certain conditions in which
that will happen.
You go and he says, like, you go to fight him and he says, "Take my soul and use it to break the barrier," and he kills himself or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not sure what circumstances create that, but in the game I'm currently playing, Flowey is totes alive.
Okay, interesting.
He doesn't really play that much of a genocide role.
He's just kind of not part of it.
He's part of it to an extent. That sequence in the game right before you would go fight Asgore, where like a bunch of enemies talk to you. Since you killed everyone, Flowey talks to you.
Okay,
and he tells you some stuff.
Man, Flowey, man.
But you know,
that guy sucks.
Yeah. But I'm currently on the last boss fight. It's very hard.
Is that the last boss fight?
I'm not sure. I'm going to assume it is.
Fight Asgore Dreamer?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so everyone knows who the last boss fight of Genocide Run is, because like the most famous song in the game is from that fight, but we're not going to say it because it's a spoiler.
I didn't.
It's a big spoiler.
It's a spoiler
that everyone knows.
I didn't say it.
It's a big spoiler.
Everyone knows.
Everyone
already.
spoils it.
Yeah, everyone knows already.
But
even yesterday when I was complaining on Twitter about this game being hard, I wrote, boy, the last boss in Undertale is hard.
I wasn't even sure what
boss I was talking about.
I knew you were stuck on a boss, but I wasn't sure if it was the last, like if that was the last boss.
Like I think it's the last boss. I don't actually know what else is after.
If there is another boss, it doesn't matter. It's not as hard. It doesn't matter as much.
It's not as hard as this one. But like, I don't know, it's definitely very challenging. I've gotten pretty far into that fight, but I died. And apparently, the way that fight works, it's strictly round based, and every time you need to heal, you essentially add another round.
Interesting.
To the total fight. So that sucks. So like if you catch yourself in a heal loop and you suck too hard too many times in a row, you're like you're essentially increasing the amount of time that guy will fuck you.
Yeah.
Which sucks.
And you also have to be careful to not try and spare him.
Yeah, I've seen what happens when you do that, and it's funny. But
you're like, I'm
not
good.
gonna do it.
I don't feel the need to.
Mess that. I don't want to do that whole fight again.
That's cool. More power to you, because I heard that's really difficult.
I can see I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and I've gotten good enough at most of the mechanics that I've seen already. I can almost reliably get to that part every time. There's definitely like a point where it like changes into a whole different fight.
What is your level of violence?
19, which is what everybody is when you get there.
Oh yeah, I guess it's standardized at that point.
The thing I like about Undertale a whole bunch is that no matter what like ending you're playing through, except for maybe neutral, it's tuned difficulty wise to whatever you are. So either you have no experience or you have all the experience, and either way, it's tuned
to be
that way.
Well, that makes playtesting really easy for a short game. You
Yeah,
don't have to worry about how much did they grind to get here.
Right. And there's no like on the other end of it, players being like, "Oh man, I have to grind to get through this boss." It's like, no, you can't grind. You just have to do it. It's supposed to be this hard.
Yeah, like I imagine a game like I don't know, Bravely Default, let's say, be really difficult to properly balance, because some people, if you make the enemies too easy, people might be over leveled who have grinded a little bit, and then it'll be too easy. But if you make the enemies too hard, it forces people to grind. But the way Toby Fox has done things is actually rather brilliant. That it's like, this is how difficult it is, and
deal with it.
Yeah, which is a little bit crappy for people who aren't good and they want to experience the game. But I don't think it's impossible.
I'm definitely bad, and I'm getting through it. So, there's hope for everybody.
Yeah, that's true. You did Udine, it only took you 5 hours. And considering, well, Pacifist Run is no joke either. And
no, I struggled on the Metaton fight in Pacifist Run a whole lot, because you have no HP. So
yeah,
that sucks.
I thought you had more trouble with Undine, but
I had a little bit of trouble with Undine, but not nearly as much as I did on Genocide Run.
Yeah, that game's cool.
Yeah. Undertale, good AF. And I like it. I want to finish it. And I can put it away and maybe decide it's one of my top 9 favorite games of all time.
Yeah, it's kind of getting there for me too.
Yeah. That game's really fucking good.
Yeah. I agree.
So, like, one thing I'm considering doing is not, like, anytime soon, but, like, at one point, playing through that whole game 3 times again. And, like, seeing if, after I know literally everything there is to know, if it's still as good as I think it is experiencing it for the first time.
I don't think it has to be.
So, that's definitely, replayability is definitely a deciding factor in whether or not a game is good enough to be on my top 9.
Like, if you want, okay, well, if that's the criteria you use, that's cool.
It's one of my criteria. It doesn't really, like, it doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, because you just want a game that you can go back to and have
and still play again,
playing it the second, third, fourth time.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think that the first experience with Undertale, the first time playing that game, or one person's experience playing that game for the first time is interesting enough that it makes almost everything else irrelevant.
Yeah, I mean, so like there's almost a separate category of games that I liked a whole lot based on their first experience, but it'll never be that magical again, and that's almost like its own category of things, where Undertale would definitely be at the top of that list.
Yeah, I feel like if you weren't you're doing a true pacifist run for the second time, not because you're doing it to replay it, not because you were excited to experience the story for the first time. I feel like you would be like, man, Metaton's really hard on True Pacifist. I don't want to do this. Because you don't have that drive to see what happens.
Yeah, maybe. So, I don't know. I definitely want to do that again at some point before I ultimately decide, yeah, this is definitely like one of my most favorite games of all time.
That's fair.
But we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, yeah, I'm doing that. I want to finish it, but I probably will put it on hold because Fire Emblem.
Yeah. I can see that game becoming one of my top 9 at some point. I don't know what it would replace though. That'd be the hardest part.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Yeah, keep doing.
Keep on trucking.
Doing you. Also, start trucking. Get American Truck Simulator and truck, please.
Man, I'm after this, we conclude this podcast. I'm gonna go up in my attic and see if there's an old driving wheel in there. I have like a sneaking suspicion there is.
It gonna have pedals too, though.
Probably. The one I remember, they all come with pedals. It's the gear shift thing that not all of them have. I feel like
you could get away with not have like.
Well, they sell separate gear shifts that work with any PC steering wheel, so I could just get one of those. They're like $100.
I don't. Okay, if that's what you want, I would just say like, you can probably, if you have the wheel, the track IR, and the pedals, the gear shift is.
I'd probably be okay.
Optional at that point.
I want to do the big kerclunk as I change gears because it would make me happy.
Yeah. That'd be cool, except for the fact that it wouldn't be a truck one.
No,
so
it wouldn't
really be. You have to like. It's something like most of them only have like 4 gears, and a truck has like 7 to 10. So you need to like flip a switch to make it. Yeah, you go like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hit a switch, and then. It makes 5 the lowest one.
5 through 10.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if that's accurate enough to make it worth $100.
I don't know. But I kind of want to do it. And I want to put on my Track IR hat.
You should make it, like, you should buy, like, a $5 trucker hat.
Like a trucker cap? Man, I probably should. You're right. I probably should.
Work at the mall, just, like, go somewhere there and buy, like...
I'll go to fucking Lids. That's still a store.
I don't know if they sell trucker caps. Also, the cheapest hat there is probably $25. And you only be able to get one that has...
You're probably right.
They do sell plain ones. Maybe look at a novelty one at, like, Spencer's Gifts or something like that.
It just has, like, a big picture of a dick on it.
Yeah, the more novel, the better, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel right now.
You're like, it'll say like, my other ride is your sister or something like that on it. And you'll be like, oh, dope. This is so profane. I love it.
My other ride is your sister.
Hey, Ryan, I played a really great game that you played it as well. Let's talk about it.
I played it as well.
This is a dope game. It's fresh. It's a fresh game. It's an iOS game.
That game's big butts.
This game is huge asses. This game is big butts. This is an indie darling. Actually, I don't know if that's true. I don't know who made this game. Happy Magenta made this game. I don't know who those people are. It's a game called Tomb of the Mask for iOS.
So, can I tell you a story about this game? Real quick. So, I was at work one morning. I think it was like Tuesday. And I was scrolling through Twitter on my break. And I just saw you tweet about this game being like, guys, this might be the best game that's ever been made, or something to that effect. When I play this game,
it's the best game in the entire world. My tweet says something along the lines of, like, in this exact moment, this is the greatest game ever made.
So I'm like, nah, no way.
Like, fucking iOS games,
that's not
man.
true.
I don't know.
Fucking iOS game ain't no best game. So I, like, went and downloaded it. I'm like, oh, cool, this game is free and everything. So I sat there on my break, and I literally played it for 20 minutes, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. This is the best game that's ever existed. You said to me
about how never you played a game that made a swipe so satisfying.
Yeah, it's really good at, like, making you feel good about the smartphone's ability to be a touchscreen.
Yeah, that's the thing about iPhone games or phone games or touchscreen games in general, is it's like, if it's a game that you just made on a phone because, like, there's no real phone SDK or it costs like $80 or something, you just put it on a phone with virtual joysticks, your game might not be good. I mean, I've seen that done well.
Yeah,
before,
I hate virtual
joysticks. But this is like a game. It's like, this game only works on phones, which is why I put it on a phone.
This is a phone game for phones.
That's the only kind of game I want to play. Like, if they were just like, hey, we ported Fire Emblem to Wii U, it'd be like, no, that's a portable game.
If
I really want to play it on
like
portable.
recently they ported Final Fantasy IX to mobile, and I love Final Fantasy IX, but I do not want to play Final Fantasy IX with a virtual joypad. Fuck that.
I could see I think Chrono Trigger is on iOS too. They may have added. Yeah, is it virtual joypad or is it tap to run?
I think it's virtual joystick.
Because honestly,
which sucks.
Like if you made Chrono Trigger, if you remade it so that you could just like, hey Chrono, walk over here, and he would walk over there. Like you tap where to walk. That might actually work.
If they did that with literally every game with a virtual joystick, it would work.
Some games don't
well.
work. I mean, so remember that game Beat Hazard? That's like the space shooter, like the asteroids game, where you put a song in and it determines what kind of enemies you fight and stuff like that. They made an iOS version with virtual joysticks that's actually very functional, because the virtual joystick like follows your finger a little bit, so you can kind of move off of it and it'll still count. It actually that works, but they usually don't. So Tomb of the Mask, I'm going to try and explain this game. It's an arcade style game, and you hit play, and then a song that sounds kind of like the jingle from the beginning of a Spelunky run plays. Which is maybe my favorite part. And it's all pixely. I'm never gonna be able to explain how what this game is. Basically, it's a infinite climber. Let's say this pool of flashing water. I like to think it's water. I don't know. Follows you upwards, and you need to escape up the tower or tomb, I guess you're in. But by doing that, the way you move in this game, it's not a platformer. Your character just moves. You pick a direction and swipe in that direction. Your character moves very quickly and infinitely in that direction until they hit something. So you're swiping rapidly, like left, up, left, right, left, right, up, down, left, right. And like to move him, and he's hitting walls and going up through obstacles. You're waiting for like traps to fire and then shooting past them, and like it's just like you said it perfectly when you said it's the most satisfying a swipe has ever felt. Like it empowers, like the smallest gesture of just like a little swipe up, down, left, or right makes your dude go flying in the most satisfying way. And you're just it's there's some iOS games that some games only work on iPad. Like, I've been playing a lot of that game that's called Paint It Back. That's just the Picross game on iPad. I love the shit out of that game. If you don't play it on like a larger screen, it's garbage. There's some games that work potentially on both. Like, I think that Beat Hazard game works okay on both of them. And then this game, I feel like it would be miserable to play on iPad. Like, it has to just be little screen right there, one thumb, like holding your hand, one-handed, one thumb, just flick, 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 and it's just so effortless to do like dope stuff. Just do, and you're just kind of moving your thumb a little bit. It seriously is like the most simple way to control a game. It's like simple controls never felt this great. Yeah, it reminds me of Pac-Man 265 or whatever the heck that game is called.
256?
Yeah, whatever. It's like a super fast-paced version of that game, I feel like.
Yeah, kind of. And also like on like a 2D plane, which is nice. I didn't like that weird like 2.5
that like isometric
thing
view type
that
of
game
thing.
did.
Yeah.
I didn't
Because you're collecting
that.
dots. It's infinite. I wasn't sure if it was infinite or not, but I'm looking at the store page, and it is indeed an infinite arcade adventure, they call it. And you're just going through and collecting dots and coins, and that gives you score as you climb higher and higher. Each level, it doesn't get progressively harder as you go, which I like, because some of these games like this, these infinite arcade games, have this problem where, all right, play again. Now you have to play through like the first level that's always stupid easy and is boring. It's like that first level, that purple level, is usually pretty simple. Like the most difficult obstacle is like some spikes, but after that, it's kind of randomly difficult. Some runs you'll have one that's pretty, like second stage will be pretty simple. By the time you're at like the sixth stage, they're consistently more difficult than any of the ones before it. But I like how they handle the difficulty in the game. The one interesting design choice they made is you level up the more score you get. Like every time you complete a run, your score gets added to like an experience bar, and the more score you get, the higher your level becomes, and the higher level is, the higher your score multiplier is. So,
yeah,
it is a thing. It's like, it means that you can't possibly get a really good high score or like a world record high score until you've played the game enough to be level 20. When you're getting 20 times score for every move you make. Which is kind of shitty, but other games limit you like that in worse ways. Other Infinite games like Jetpack Joyride or something, like the only way you're going to get a good score is if you have all the good power-ups, and you need to play a long time to get those power-ups. So this is kind of cutting out the middleman, and I also kind of, like, it's kind of lame, but I also kind of like it because it means you're constantly getting a better score. Not constantly, but, like, you don't, like, it's not like Crossy Road where you get, like, 100, and, you know, you get, like, a really high score, and you're like, well, never going to beat that, because the game's never going to be any, like, you're consistently, like, every couple of levels, you're getting a higher score. Like, you're shattering your previous record because you're just getting more points. And then once you get to level 20, it kind of evens out.
Yeah, it does.
And so there's some free to play stuff here. It's free. You can
watch ads for money.
Yeah, you get 500 coins for watching ads, which is usually worth it. And also, the first time you die in a run, you can watch an ad to come back instead of spending 500 gold. Which is, I usually do. I've watched a lot of ads in this game.
Yeah.
But have you ever been given a pop-up ad? Because you can pay 99 cents to disable pop-up ads. And although I've never been given a pop-up ad, I still spent 99 cents to remove all pop-up ads. Yeah.
Really? I haven't seen one of those yet.
I have either. Maybe they don't exist yet, but I also wanted to see if it would do anything to like the amount of ads I had to watch. Like I thought maybe that meant like your first death you can just get a free retry as opposed to watching. Yeah, not so, but like I'm fine with watching the ads. They're like 30 seconds max. It's pretty inoffensive, and it means that the guys who make it can sell their game for free and still make a shitload of money. So,
yeah,
I'm numb to the whole watch an ad thing. Maybe some other people are not, but
I don't particularly enjoy it. But you know, I don't.
Yeah, I don't like it per se. Like I'd rather be like, here's $10, just let me play your game. But this game is way better at that than other games. Like, and also let me just take a look here real quick. You can spend real money on coins, but the most money you can spend at once is $6, as opposed to $99, best value of some other games. Like this, this game is clearly made in an intelligent. It's very much self-aware of the way mobile games have been.
Yes.
Like it knows what's going on with mobile games, and it understands that there's a good way. There are different ways to do it, and I think they've been pretty good. Yeah, this game's fun. I'm gonna keep playing it when I'm bored. Although now I'm gonna be playing Fire Emblem with my. It's just like I'm not with my 3DS or my iPad, and I feel like doing something stupid for a second game, which is a very specific kind of game. But I have to have a game for every occasion, so this is good. Let's talk about news. Ryan, I know we got to wrap up soon.
Whoa.
There's not a lot of news, so it'll be fine. Ryan's got to wrap up soon so he can go buy his physical copy of Fire Emblem like some sort of scrub.
Yeah. Well, I can't. If I don't buy a physical copy, I can't stream it. So
can you not get that stream one? I guess you don't want to play on the streaming one if you don't have to.
I would like to be able to plug that shit into my other 3DS and go away.
Like, can you just put a cart into two different 3DS and have like save files the same and stuff?
I think some games work differently than other games. It depends on how much data they make on an SD card.
Oh, you just move the SD card too?
I actually haven't tried to do it.
I don't know if it works the way you're hoping it does.
I mean, in which case I'll just jump off a roof.
Okay, that sounds cool. I mean, I was going to berate you today for wanting to buy physical stuff, but because I was like, oh, well, I'm playing it right now. I got it online, but I had issues with it too. It was like midnight last night when I was going to bed. I was like, oh, okay, I can download Fire Emblem, and I downloaded Fire Emblem, and I did download now. And then I sat in bed for a little while, and it was still downloading now, and I had to go to bed. So I was like, okay, well, actually, let's switch to download later. I exited the store, and I closed the 3DS to cause it to start downloading later, at which point my 3DS decided to break itself. It, kept running battery power, but it turned itself off in some way. So when I opened it in the morning, I just opened it and the screens didn't turn on, but it told me the battery was dying. And when I forcibly restarted it, it said it was still at 34%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That was stupid. But then it downloaded. I did download now, and it downloaded pretty quickly this morning, and I played a minute before we started podcasting. Anyways, news. Did you hear about this Fallout 4 stuff at all? Oh, you don't give a shit. Whatever. Fuck you.
I don't. Yeah.
So right now they're selling a $25 season pass or something like that, and they announced the 3 items that are going to be coming out in that season pass, and they've also announced that that's not going to be there's going to be more than just these first 3. So they've said that the first one is going to be called Automatron, and it'll be priced individually for $10. And it says a villain called the Machinist has released a horde of killer robots in the Commonwealth. Find them, kill them, and use their parts to create your own mix and match companions. Which sounds pretty cool. I'm getting this. Thank you, GameInformer.com, for aggregating this information. But Bethesda released information publicly earlier this week. In April, they'll be releasing Wasteland Workshop for $5. This allows you to build traps or capture NPCs and wildlife. You'll be able to host death matches or tame hostile creatures. This DLC pack also adds customization options for your settlement, which that's fine. $5. And then the third update, price for $25 in June, is called Far Harbor. Takes you to the coast of Maine, and you work with Nick Valentine on it's like a whole subset of the game. Like a whole smaller map instead of just adding stuff to the existing map. So that's why it costs a little bit more. So, yeah, sorry, I misspoke before. The season pass right now costs $30. But since they're adding all of this and they're planning on adding even more, they're going to be increasing the price of the season pass to $50 on March 1st. But if you buy it before then or you already have it, you won't be charged extra. You're good. You get everything that comes with it. That seems like a cool way to do it.
I mean, yeah, that's fine. It's like that pre-order early and get more for less money deal that
but
happens
I feel like
sometimes.
if you're someone who is interested in a season pass for Fallout 4, you know already.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to get it before March 1st because I would love an excuse to play that game again. So, Hyper Light Drifter.
I watched a trailer for that game, and that game looks cool.
I remember I actually saw this at PAX 2 years ago, PAX East 2 years ago when I went. It's been in like a semi-playable form. People have been like news outlets have had it for a while, like the first hour or two of the game. It's like a 16-bit Zelda, well, not even 16-bit. It's a pixel art style. It's really colorful, and it's like a Zelda-like game. Like a top-down, light platformy, slashy thing. I'm really excited for it. And it's supposed to be coming out this year, and although there's not a release date, they've opened pre-orders on GOG.com. Which, in and of itself, isn't that huge, but it means that probably the games will be coming out sooner rather than later.
Pretty soon.
I guess as of now, the release date is noted as being spring 2016 for PC, and then consoles will happen shortly after that.
Well, spring is soon.
Very soon.
So,
Ryan, Dark Souls 1 is coming to Xbox One backwards compatibility. I'm so excited.
You are so excited.
On everything. I play it on PC. Like, there's literally no reason for me to really be that excited about it. I just want to play Dark Souls 1 some more.
Yeah.
I like that game a lot. Even though I haven't finished my streaming playthrough because I've kind of hit a wall that I've been trying to figure out how to get over. I don't know.
I want you to finish that, and then I want to do one, and then we'll put them both on YouTube.
Okay. Oh man, this last leg is gonna be like, I don't know. I'll see. It's gonna be interesting. And this is anticipation. So anyone who pre-orders Xbox or on Xbox One, they pre-order Dark Souls 3 digitally. They get a free copy of.
Okay, I was gonna say, is it only digital?
They might, as far as I know. I mean, Fallout 4. Maybe they made a bigger deal of it, which is why when I got the physical version, it came packed with a code for Fallout 3. But that was like a big selling point when the game originally came out. So maybe like he was on stage at E3 for Microsoft saying that stuff. Maybe that was just a thing that they did for them. It might just be for digital versions, and obviously it's only going to apply to Xbox One because PS4 doesn't have a similar backwards compatibility thing. XCOM 2. Remember that? You know that game? That PC only game?
I've heard of that.
XCOM 2, which is the sequel to Firaxis's remake of XCOM games, the XCOM series. So this weird thing happened. Weird thing is still happening.
Yeah.
That if you play the game with caps lock on, it loads faster.
That's the best thing I've ever heard.
So this is apparently Firaxis's official statement. Eurogamer asked them what was going on. Firaxis told them this. It says, hitting the key through a Rube Goldberg-esque series of events forces all outstanding load requests to be filled immediately in a single frame. This causes a massive hitch and potentially could crash the game. If you don't care about these adverse effects, the synchronous load is faster. So maybe, like, if your computer is better, you can get away with doing it, but playing with caps locks on runs the risk of crashing your game, which is hilarious in and of itself.
Yeah.
That there is such a thing as, like, hey, don't play with the caps lock on, or otherwise your game might crash. These are the joys we experience when someone releases in 2016 a game that's only for PC. Fun stuff like this happens. But also that game already has a mod that removes the pauses in combat, which some people assumed were the game trying to load or was getting hitched up on something, but was actually just a deliberate thing they added to make people think about their lives in between turns. And someone just made a patch to remove it, because that's nonsense. XCOM 2, man. Every part of me wants to tell you to play that game because I don't want to have to play it. I want someone to experience it.
I will buy that game when it costs less than $30 or less. That's
like
my cutoff point.
That game.
I probably will, but I'll play it at one point.
That's why I don't want to play it. That's why I don't want you to play it.
That's not the part that that bothers me. It's the part where I didn't really like XCOM Enemy Unknown that much. It didn't really do it for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
We'll see.
I'm sorry. So, Call of Duty's trying this weird thing where they put Black Ops 3 Multiplayer Starter Edition up on Steam. So,
okay.
This features it's multiplayer only. It has ranked play, weapon paint shop, gunsmith, arena, free run mode, the theater, and the black market. But does not have zombies campaign, custom matches, unranked play, or mod support. Unranked play? What does that mean?
It means play that is not ranked.
I think all play in Call of Duty might be ranked.
Right, so now they have some that isn't.
I'm trying to think. I've never had that option of ranked versus... Oh, no, actually I have. Wait, does that mean you really can't just join, select, join a lobby, I want to play Domination?
I couldn't tell you.
Huh. You also won't be able to prestige using the starter pack. You'll be capped at level 55. If you decide to upgrade, the $15 cost of the starter pack will be deducted from the purchase price of the full version of Black Ops 3.
Cool.
But you have access to all of the microtransactions and stuff. So, man, I don't know what this shit is. This is crazy that they just want more people to play multiplayer and then maybe buy the full game. This is what we were saying before, is about how this game is 3 very distinct different games. So maybe they are kind of playing on that and offering, hey, do you only like multiplayer? Well, you don't have to pay $60 to only play multiplayer. Here's a little taste of something. And for a lot of people, maybe they just want to play a little bit of Call of Duty, get to level 55, and say, that was fun. Uninstall. So I can see how this is appealing to some people. It's crazy that it's only $15.
Sure.
I don't know, man. Call of Duty's got to they got to try some weird stuff to stay relevant, I guess. The game coming out this year is going to be developed by Infinity Ward, the people who made Modern Warfare 2, which was a kind of a big turning point for that series in general. But not. I mean, that's the name of the company is still the same. A lot of the creative leads of that company are now working for Respawn, that's making Titanfall. So we'll see how that goes.
Yep.
But if this game, I know people have been saying this for many years now, but if this Call of Duty game isn't good, that franchise might be over soon.
That's all right.
Unless they go the way of Assassin's Creed and they stop releasing it every single year. I don't know. I'll be here to watch the fire burn.
Yeah, totally.
Ryan, do the plug. This podcast is over.
Oh, podcast's over. All right. We're on Twitter. Come follow us at Bear vs. Man.
VS Man.
One word.
Like all Twitter handles.
Like all Twitter handles. We put stuff on there. That's where we talk about all the things. You can check us out on YouTube where we put some stuff up. Like the most recently, our Valentine's Day
Yeah, that
stream,
was fun.
where we played games with our friends,
Played
Yuki and
games
Joe,
about love and things and romantic things like hearts and roses and sword
and putt
people.
putt.
I forgot we played putt putt. Completely forgot about that. Well, that game is your Valentine. Like that's your Valentine.
That game's my
game.
Valentine. For real. That game is my Valentine. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, you should rate us on iTunes. That helps us get popular.
And tell a friend.
Gets people
about this.
Or tell your friends. Actually, and
Do both.
Just and. You can leave us a little review, and then everybody wins. Let's see. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Bear vs. Mancast. That's where that is. You can send us an email to questions@bearvsman.com.
Yeah, you can do that.
And we will read it on the internet for everybody. If that intimidates you, we'll read it in private and then talk about it afterwards.
Yeah. We will
That's
see
it.
you guys next week. Probably have a stream sometime between now and then.
Most likely.
At least
Most likely a
squeeze in
stream.
some hot stream because we like that game.
Damn right.
Maybe Ryan will beat
Damn right.
an entire game
Hey,
on the internet. Who knows? Maybe I'll play some more Dark Souls.
Are we still having a party on the 27th? Is that a thing we're doing? All right. We're going to have a nice big fat live stream on the 27th for our 1 year anniversary of Bear vs. Man. So come hang out with us, twitch.tv/Bear vs. Man. We play video games.
We're gonna try and make that one a little lengthier than the usual ones we do, and maybe just play a bunch of dumb couch competitive games.
Yeah, let's do that. All right, that's gonna do it.
Okay, I love you guys.
Big smooches.
Bye.